easier than them.
Yes. So, brothers and sisters, allow me to briefly introduce our special guest speaker today. Venerable Dr. G. Chandima is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Maha. Hold it. Which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Maha Chulalongkorn Rajavidaya Laya University in Thailand. He was previously a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also the Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada from 2012 to 2016. Bhante is currently the senior advisor to Patisota, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, sutta discussions, Dhamma talks, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma works can be accessed at https://patisota.blogspot.com. So, brothers and sisters, as you can see, we are very fortunate to be in the presence of a Buddhist scholar and a teacher. So we have the opportunity, because Bhante has kindly consented to share some Dharma with us today. So without much further ado, we invite Bhante by saying sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
A very good morning to all of you. Dear Dhamma friends at Nalanda, Sungai-Patani. Thank you, Brother Song and Sister Lee and Brother Lee also. There are so many Lees. Brother Fong and everyone who were a part of this invitation. At the same time, those of you who made time to come to the center today morning. So, before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Buddha by paying homage? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Right. Today morning Dhamma sharing is about how to practice Dhamma in daily life. Right? I hope that we all can relate this topic to our daily practice. Now, first of all, we need to understand what is daily life. Right? A lot of people, they pick up Dhamma first. So, what is your daily life? How do you explain your daily life? May I know? Your daily life means your routine, daily routine. You wake up and then at a certain time of the day you wake up and then you start your day. And then you have your chores, your probably work, you may study, and then at the end of the day you may go to sleep. Now, this is daily life. So now we are looking at how to practice Dhamma in daily life. Do you think, is it easy to practice Dhamma in daily life? Huh? You have to talk louder, otherwise it's a problem. Huh? Problem should be voice out. Is it easy to practice Dhamma in daily life? Huh? I don't hear that very well. It might be yes, it might be no, right? You cannot say you cannot practice. You can. But maybe to the level that you are expecting. Maybe to the level some Dhamma speakers are talking about it. They are putting you at high level. You have to go to this level. Otherwise you are not practicing. Even some books. Is it why people they take time off from the daily life and then go to retreats? Is it because that they cannot practice Dhamma in their daily life? Let me ask you. Is it why people think that I cannot practice Dhamma in my house, in my household, so I need to take time off, I need to isolate myself. I need to walk away from all the people I know in my life. Maybe I just drop my phone somewhere. I want to be a being in a forest. Maybe an isolated place. Is it why? Is it because of that people are doing that? You have to talk. Why? Time to time, maybe yearly, monthly, they are deciding to walk away from, isolate from these people that they are with in their household, maybe in their work life. Why is it? How many of you going to retreats? He's like moving his head no. Yes, and then you can raise your hand. Good. Others, you might be busy, busy life. You might be having a busy life. Now the problem here is that in order to understand this topic, titled How to Practice Dhamma in Daily Life, we need to understand our daily life. Otherwise, how to practice Dhamma in that particular life? So primarily we understand there are people who think we need to isolate from others. Then we are happy. Is it a good thing? We cannot isolate from others because they get on high on a retreat and they come back, they fall to the earth. Isn't it? And they are again complaining, oh, so unhappy. I will be unhappy till I go to my next retreat. Isn't it? Some people make like that. So then there is something wrong in that practice. That means we have to make our home, the people who we are surrounded by, the place of peace. Can we change others? Even your husband, even your wife? In that direction, not for the love. I mean, behavioral changes, their behavior, their attitudes. Not that easy. Probably it might be easy. There are people who are very submissive to each other. But most of them might not be. Rather, you accept them. Just because you accept them, do you think that it is a problem to your Dhamma practice? I don't think so. Dhamma practice is not a bunch of activities. Buddhism is all about thoughts. How to manage your thoughts. So then the Buddha says we must be able to put Dhamma in our daily life. So you can be happier, calmer, happier, more successful, more responsible with your emotions. So that you will be a better person. That is what we want to do. So if you want to go for a retreat, if you want to go for somewhere else just to take time off, it's okay. But you shouldn't do that just because you cannot handle your household. That is a wrong choice. Because you come back again and you again winning, complaining, and you fall back to the earth. That is a wrong choice if you do such. Now, if you can see the stories of the Buddha's time, there are lots of people who were with, other people who did not particularly have a good interest about it. Remember the wife, Sotapanna wife of the hunter? How many of you have read that story? There was a Sotapanna lady who was married to a hunter. Every morning she has to give all the gears, arrow, bows to the man because he is the one who is making money for the house. But she is a Sotapanna. Can Sotapanna help someone to kill other people? But she is doing her responsibilities. It is all the mind. Huh? It's all about the mind. So there are lots of things like that. So if you think you cannot practice Dhamma in your daily life, which means you haven't studied the suttas very well, you haven't studied the true Buddhism very well, not somebody else's Buddhism, not the refined Buddhism, the raw Buddhism from the suttas. Alright, so I'm telling you, it is possible, and if you make your house, your daily life, a place of your Dhamma practice, you'll be happier. You will feel that this is easier than I thought. Now, the other important thing, what kind of Buddhism are you supposed to practice? This is again the problem. Now you know you have to practice Dhamma. What kind of teachings in the Dhamma should I practice? Should I practice what the monks are practicing in their own life? This is what many people practice nowadays. They practice monk Buddhism, monastic Buddhism, not the lay people Buddhism. There's a difference. Monastic Buddhism is monastic Buddhism. That's for them. Their behaviors, their attitudes, whatever they are supposed to do, they are up to them. You are lay people. You should not step over to their life. Once you step over to their life, your life will fall back to something. You can't survive very well as a lay person. Either you should decide to become a monk, or you should continue to become a lay person. Don't do the both. So a lot of people, especially Theravada people, Theravada practitioners have misunderstood this thing. Maybe the speakers, the way that they talk, whatever the Dhamma teaching they talk, they probably incorporating monastic Buddhism. Buddha clearly says lay people has their own lay life and they have to practice lay Buddhism. Alright? Now there are two things to understand in here. I mean, whatever the Dhamma practice you have to do in your lay life. One side is your secular Dhamma practice, your secular life. Do you understand that? Your work, your life, your marriage, your friendship, relationships, your economy, your living, that is one side. Lots of teachings about this aspect from Buddhism. We have to study a little bit. On the other hand, supramundane side. You mean the more spiritual side to attain Nibbana. Two sides. As a layperson, you have to work on these two sides. Sadly, most people, they only pick on that Nibbana side only. So they get stuck in their practice. They are lay people. So in order you to be successful in your Dhamma practice, you have to work on the secular life aspect from Buddhism and then the Nibbanic, straight Nibbanic aspect. Now let's talk about the secular life. Do you remember that there was a man called Vyaggapajja? What was his name? Vyaggapajja. This Vyaggapajja, this is Sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya, Vyaggapajja Sutta. In this Sutta, this Vyaggapajja came to see the Buddha and told him, Bhante, we don't have time to listen to Dhamma talks. We don't have time to do very rigorous practices. We are spending lives with so much sensual pleasures, lay people. So can you tell us a specific Dhamma teaching that is catered to our life? Then the Buddha said, yes. He said, 4 things for this life of a lay person, 4 things for the next life of the lay person. But the both things have to be done in this life. You don't know what will happen to you in the next life, right? Is anybody aware what will happen to you in the next life? But there are teachings like how to die mindfully. Yeah? Do you know when we're going to die? So how to die mindfully then? So we have to understand what exactly Buddha said in this aspect. So he said, in order for you to be successful as a layperson, you must cultivate 4 things. 1, Utthana Sampada. You have to be an enthusiastic layperson, not a lazy one. It's a laid back, lazy person. You should not give up your hopes. Right? We never truly fail until we give up trying. All these are helping us. Right? The Buddha said, Arambadatu, Nikkamadatu, Parakkamadatu, Tamatiti, Upakkama. All are words about the courage. But our effort has to be a wholesome effort. Utthana Sampada means we have to be courageous. Especially in your lay life, you have to be courageous to live better. Right? You can't be laid back for your studies, you can't be laid back for your daily life. Right? So, Utthana Sampada. Does anyone know about the Samma Vayama here? Samma Vayama? Samma Vayama is the effort factor in our path, in our life, spiritual life. What does Samma Vayama mean? Samma Vayama is a path factor in the Noble Eightfold Path. Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva, Samma Vayama, Samma Sati, Samma. So, Samma Vayama comes in as the Ditti, Sankappa, Vacha, Kammanta, Ajiva, Vayama, the 6th factor. Right? So, how did the Buddha ask us to practice this Samma Vayama? He asked us to practice Samma Vayama, which means effort, in 4 ways. First, we have to remove existing akusalas we have. We call removing active akusalas we have. We may be angry, we might be very greedy, we might be very hateful. So we know who we are. We're going to remove them every moment. Every moment we are trying to remove them. Right? Second, we may not have some of the akusalas which other people have. So some akusalas are inactive in our life, but they are active in other people, like your friends, families, other people. So we have to prevent them coming to our life. You prevent them coming to your life. You have to put effort to them. First, removing existing akusalas. Second, preventing inactive akusalas. These are for the akusala side. Kusala side, we need effort for the kusalas too. Then we are going to create inactive kusalas. There may be some kusalas, like maybe you might not be patient enough in your life. But you see in other people, your friends, they might be more patient than you. So you will learn from them. You might think, from tomorrow onwards, maybe today onwards, I will become a more tolerable person, more patient person. So you are creating more kusalas in your life. You're going to put effort on that. The 4th one is deepen, sustain your active kusalas. You might be already a good person. You may have lots of compassion, lots of mudita, altruistic joy, lots of metta. So you're going to multiply, quadruple, improve, deepen your existing kusalas which you have been practicing so far. This is what we call by Samma Vayama, which means effort. This is not a hard-working effort which you know in the West. Right? They say hard work, you make money. In today's world, nobody is hard-working to make lots of money. You have to be smart to make lots of money. Olden days, it's hard-working. Nowadays, it might be different. So this Samma Vayama, which means the Utthana Virya, being courageous, is more equal to a vegetable garden. Do you see some similarities between the vegetable gardening and your kusala practice in terms of virya? You can. The first one is, in a vegetable gardening, you might see issues with your garden. So you may have, your garden may be okay. You may not have weeds. So you are trying to prevent weeds coming up. So you might uproot certain unnecessary shrubs, plants, You are very conscious about what's happening in your garden. So that is like not letting any akusalas appear in your life. Sadly, for some reason, you get to see some weeds in your garden. Now you have to do something. Maybe you are adding fertilizers, you are adding certain other things, because you want to get them off. Otherwise, it might affect your product of the harvest of the garden, vegetable garden. Sometimes your garden is good, but you want to do some additional good work for the garden, maybe more nursing, more positioning, right? So you are creating additional efforts to keep your garden surviving well. That's like creating new kusalas. The final one is your garden is okay, but you are still trying to, you are trying to survive, you are trying to sustain your existing garden because you want to create more fruits and other plants. That means Samma Vayama, which means this courage, is applicable to can be understood as a vegetable garden. So you need to understand courage. As a layperson, you must be courageous in your life. So Buddhism is not like walking away from the problems. Those people who walk away from houses, they are escaping their life. They are not facing their problems. They are trying to embrace a happiness where there are no problems. It's not a deal. It's not a good thing. So you have to face the problems and understand the problems. Then bring the right understanding from Buddhism to the problem. Then only you are happy. That is Uttana Sampada. Okay? Then second, Arakka Sampada. Arakka Sampada means safety. Your physical safety, emotional safety, mental safety. Is it important? Is safety on your emotional side, physical side important? Yes. We have to be safe from thieves, safe from probably unnecessary people. We have to be safe from bullies. A lot of bullies out there. They can bully your emotions. So you are trying to keep your safety from all these unnecessary things, people. It is an important thing. Because if you let other people to be taking advantage from you, you're going to be a victim. That's why the Buddha said, as a layperson, you must set boundaries. You must be safe, both from physical, mental, emotional aspects. There are people who are not caring these things. They get into trouble. They are becoming victims, so that they feel everything is fed up for them. Then they are going to walk away from the normal life. So they are not practicing Buddhism in their daily life. That's what I am trying to say. Third important thing in this life for a layperson is Kalyana Mittata. What is it? Kalyana Mitta. Uttana Sampada means be courageous. Arakka Sampada means try to create more space for your safety, physical, mental, emotional. Then Kalyana Mittata means having noble friends, good friends or noble friends. Let me ask you, who is a Kalyana Mitta to you? What does Kalyana Mitta mean to you? Do you all have Kalyana Mittas? So everybody who has come here should be Kalyana Mittas to each other. But how do you define your Kalyana Mittata? Is that the person who is giving you a ride to the center for a Dhamma talk, for a sharing in the morning or evening? Who is a Kalyana Mitta? According to Buddha, not our own version. Any thoughts? Do you all have Kalyana Mittas? If you have, then tell me how you define your Kalyana Mittata, because you understand this is a Kalyana Mitta. So, what is that understanding? Those of them who encourage us to be on the right path. Okay. What is your right path? Noble Eightfold Path. Others, do you have a different other definition of Kalyana Mittas? A friend who you need when you are in need. I remember the bear story now. You know, there's a story in Sri Lanka which I know. There were two friends, so they walk into the jungle, and then suddenly a bear came in. So one was able to manage to climb into a tree. The other one showed as if he is dead. So the bear came in, bear murmured something in his own way, the bear left. So after a while he climbed down. Yes, I think bear told you something. What was it? The bear told me, do not associate friends who are leaving when they are in need. Right. It's interesting. Right? So that is the minimal version of a good friend. But Kalyana Mitta, today you are going to learn how exactly the Buddha said who is meant by a Kalyana Mitta. The Buddha said Kalyana Mitta is someone who thinks good thoughts all the time. Can we know that? We don't know what other people think. What are the good thoughts? No covetousness, no abhijja in Pali, extreme greed, no ill will, no thoughts of destroying other people's life, even their reputation. Now, in today's world, it's very easy to destroy other people's reputation. Why? You write something on social media and then you hit the button, that's it. That person's life whole gone. Maybe a gossip, maybe a rumor, you never know what it is. Be careful before you sharing things. You probably break the fourth precept, musavada. Right? You're sharing. So other people who trust you also sharing. Everything is going to be a mess at the end. Right? The second thought is someone who is trying not to have ill will. Third one, someone who is having thoughts of right will, not wrong will. So this is one part of the Kalyana Mittas. Second part is someone who is always speaking the truth, no musavada. Someone who is always trying to unite people together, not to break people away. When some people talk, they don't know what they talk. Two people going to be separate because of their bad mouth. Right? It's a very dangerous thing. So before you talk, you have to think, what is going to happen if I talk this? That is where we need awareness. And then not talking hurtful words, not creating hurtful conversations. This is also very important. The topic, the content of your talk. And not gossiping. Right? Do people gossip? Right? Even after they come to the centers, temples? Gossiping is a akusala, isn't it? It is a akusala. Then how you can stay away from gossiping? You only talk what is necessary for other people. Then you might say, no, the other person also a gossiper, so I can talk gossip. Right? So, simply because there are other people who are gossiping, you don't need to be a part of that conversation. You just stay there. Because you have to use your words wise, without hurting others. So the Kalyana Mitta on the side of the speech also always speaks good, what you call true words, and then united speech. At the same time, words that are very good for others, charming, pleasant words, and always talking beneficial, timely words. This is the second part of the Kalyana Mitta. This one you can notice, definitely, you know what they talk. And then they never kill, they never steal, they never misbehave. Now you might understand, becoming a Kalyana Mitta is a process. So this is the way how the Buddha explained Kalyana. Kalyana Mitta is not somebody who is just encouraging us. It's more than expanded version of the Dhamma. Then, How many Kalyana Mitras should we have in our life? There's no wonder, as many as we can. Now, if you understand that in order to be a Kalyana Mitra, these 10 things must be complete, then you might trouble finding such a person. In that case, what do you think? What did the Buddha say about the number of Kalyana Mitras? How many Kalyana Mitras should we have at the very least? We must have 2 Kalyana Mitras at the very least. 2. Then the Buddha said a very good news to all of us. Then he said very testing. Then the Buddha said a very good news to all of us. He says that we all have one Kalyana Mitra already. Who is that? We all have one Kalyana Mitra already. We don't have to be worried about that. Samma Sambuddha. We all have. We can follow, we can learn. Then we have some problems. Just by looking at a computer, can we learn Dhamma, the true Dhamma? Can we learn true Dhamma just by looking at the computer on the internet? Can we? We can get the knowledge but not the wisdom. That is why you are basing on Sangha. Then you have to find out the true Dhamma. Because in order to understand the Dhamma, you need to think in Pali, not think in English. These English translations are helpful, but they are not carrying the Pali meaning, the contextual Pali meaning. For example, I always make this statement wherever I go. If you can remember the starting phrase of every sutta, Evang me sutang, ekang samayam bhagavan. Now you see the word samayam. Samayam means? What does samayam means? Samayam means time. Once upon a time, once upon a time, the Buddha is staying in this temple, that temple. Samaya. The Pali word Samaya has 9 meanings. So you go check out Samaya on a Pali dictionary and you see 9. How do you find out the meaning? You cannot. Does it mean that you have to go to a Pali class? Does that work? Then how many years would you spend on that Pali class? At least 7, 8, 9 years. Then you'll be very old. Then you cannot think properly. Well, as you age, your thinking capacity, cognitive capacity goes down. That's why we ask people to practice Dhamma as early as they can. They have sicknesses, they have a lot of problems, they can't sit. You are going to be sort of immobilized as you age. That is why the Buddha said, you need to focus on somebody who can have this Pali knowledge, the true Dhamma, and learn from that person. So you don't need to, because you don't need to learn a language, right? You want to learn the Dhamma, right? That is why the Buddha said so. So here, what we understand is that we have this first Kalyana Mitra, Samma Sambuddha. What about the second Kalyana Mitra? That one you have to find out. That is the hardest thing, challenging thing. You have to find out the second Kalyana Mitra who can really support you in your practice by setting an example to him and her also. They may encourage you, but they might not be good people. Are there such people? There are people who encourage, but they are not good people themselves. They are doing all the bad things. They are not Kalyana Mitras. They can be a mentor, not this Kalyana Mitra. Alright? So the Buddha said, as a layperson, if you want to be successful in this life, the third thing is to be surrounded by Kalyana Mitras. Then the last one is Samajivi Kata. This is about your finances. So you have to balance out your income expenses. You have to always balance out. The Buddha talks about finances. He was not somebody who walked away from your lay life. He said to the people, now he's saying to Vyaggapacha, you have to balance out your income and expenses. Never ever expend more than your income. Right? That is going to be a problem. If you are financially down, you cannot practice Dhamma. Because you are into suffering. You are into problems. It is terrible. Because every time you think about Dhamma, either you have to forget about your messed up finances, or you have to fix it. Samajīvikata is very important. Think about it. Have you ever heard that the Buddha is talking your finances? Have you ever thought? You might have thought, but most of the people might have not thought. So they always think Buddha is telling us only one path, that is Nibbana. Nibbana is the final goal of everybody. But for lay people, he particularly mentions you have to be a lay person to practice them, not to be a monastic. These are the 4 things for this life. Then the Buddha talks about what a lay person should cultivate for next life. So you cannot cultivate them in the next life because we never know what will happen to us. We will be reborn. We don't know the XYZ things about the next life. You have to practice them here. What are they? Saddha, Sila, Chaga, Panya. Saddha means faith. Does Saddha mean faith? Now we are running into a translation problem now again. Does Saddha mean faith? No. Faith has its own connotations. It's a Christian word primarily, more Christian. Faith seems to be a trust about the God that should be done without an inquiry. The Saddha here has 2 meanings in Buddhism. One is the trust that you are putting out there onto the Buddha Dhamma Sangha with an inquiry. Inquiry-based trust. Second is the trust between anybody. The trust between husband and wife, trust between Sangha and lay people, trust between friends, so on and so forth. So, in Buddhism, we don't have a faith. We have the trust, unwavering trust. Unwavering trust. But can we have the unwavering trust about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha? Can we have that? For Buddha, it's okay. I think maybe many of you might have unwavering trust, mostly. What about the Dhamma? So is the Dhamma, right? You might have no. When it comes to Sangha, you see them, good monk, bad monk, and you have this issue, like some Buddhist, right? So you are daily experiencing, your understanding about the Sangha is always going up and down, fluctuating. So you will never have Saddha. Right? Either you have to particularly have a good trust about the Sangha based on the Arahants, or you have to always fluctuate your Saddha. So the Buddha said, unwavering trust about the Buddha, unwavering trust about the Dhamma, unwavering trust about the Sangha. What do you think? Who will achieve this level? Only a Sotapanna. Only when you become a Sotapanna, you are not worried about anything. So you have the long-lasting trust about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. So that is one thing as a layperson you should have. On the other hand, trust in your family life, your lay life. What do you think? Is trust very important to you in your lay life? Even if you are single, married or whatever? It's very important. Can you live without any relationships, any connections? Can you be disconnected from this whole world? You can't. You might go to the forest and going to be connected to the forest. People think I disconnect from this life, go to the forest. Go to a forest something. But then you are connecting to those people. Then you are coming back to the earth. You are running into the same problem again. That's why never ever escape life without facing them. That is not Buddhist. That is un-Buddhist. Whoever taught that, that is not Buddhist according to the suttas. So Saddha is maintaining unwavering trust about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha And then, on the other hand, maintaining your trust between your relationships. The way some people behave can be not a good way to keep trust, right? So some people blame about the mobile phones, internet, social media. Never ever blame these gadgets. I personally don't blame any of these gadgets. They are rich sources. If you really make use of them, you will learn a lot. It's like a knife. Right? Somebody grabs a knife and then cuts somebody off. When you are cooking, you are going to cut vegetables off. In the hospital, surgeons are going to use the same knife for their own operations. It is the way, it is your mentality and what you are going to use. It's not about the problem with the knife. It is the problem of you. So use your mobile phones, internet wise. That's it. What if somebody says, addict to the phone, internet, and walk away from the internet technology? They are two bad polar ends. Don't pick these two sides. Use your gadgets because your bills come to your phone, you learn lots of things, you get updated, but never ever get addicted. Never ever walk away from that. Right? I remember a lot of people making few years back, probably a decade back, I would never like to use credit cards because credit cards are really complicated. Right? But then as 9/11 happened, airlines made it mandatory, you must use a credit card to pay for your flights. Because they want to know who bought this ticket. But they had problems in the US. Somebody bought tickets and then they ram into these tall buildings. They didn't know who bought these tickets. So now we cannot live without credit cards. But is the problem the credit card or is the way how we are going to use the credit card? It's the way how we are going to use the credit. It's a loan. So in the same way, you're going to use this modern technology wise, not blame the modern technology. It is not a Buddhist thing. Right? Because we have to go with the society. Saddha. Then Sila. You need some Sila in your lay life. What is Sila? That's an interesting thing. What does Sila mean? Did you take 5 precepts today in the morning?
Yes.
5 precepts. Is it Sila? That is one way of taking Sila. Sila has 2 ideas. Virtue and training rules. Sila and Sikha. Isn't it? There are 2 Pali words about the Sila. One is Sila, other one is how to do your Sila. Then you have to practice Sikha. Sila and Sikha. Are these 2 words familiar to you? Sikha? No. I have to write. I will write down. Don't worry. Sila and Sikha. Probably I am going to turn this. Good. Can see through that. Sila and Sikha. Sila means lot of translation. Morality, virtue, conduct, moral conduct. We are very bombarded with all these translation. I would say virtue. That's a very simple translation. Virtue. Sikha, training rule. So we are practicing training rules to practice Sila. Right? So precepts. But Sila is more than Sikha. Sila is more than Sikha. Why is it? Now I would like to ask you something about the practice of Sila, because now Sila in terms of a lay person is what we are talking now. Let's take a very interesting example. A 3-month-old baby. Do you call him an infant? A 3-month-old infant. Does 3 months old infant kill other beings? Huh? No. Does 3 months old infant steal other people's things? Does 3 months old infant sexually misbehave? No idea about sexuality. Does 3 months old baby lie? The children cannot lie, yeah? You can pick very easily. Does 3 months old child or infant cloud his or her mind with intoxicants? No idea about. Then 3 months old infants are having lots of Sila, isn't it? They have more Sila than you. Huh? They must be, huh? They never kill, they never steal, they never misbehave, they never lie, they never cloud the mind. They must have Sila. No. Now you might be surprised. That is not Sila. Sila is not the mere avoidance of the precepts. Sila is not the mere avoidance of the precept. Sila is the intentional engagement with the precept. Now, as for you, you don't kill because you know it's not good for you. Karmically not good for you, karmically not good for your future life, karmically not good for the other people. You know that. You are not stealing because you know it is coming after me, and you are making other people to lose what they have. You don't sexually misbehave because it is not good to step over to the dearly cordial relationships. The next life, your marriage will be broken. You will be a divorcee. Your relationship will be broken. Would you like that? I don't think. So you know that. So you are not doing that. You are not lying because when you lie to you and then you mislead other people. You know that. So that's why you are not doing it. You are not clouding the mind because you know when you cloud the mind, you can't make a sound judgment about what's happening within you and other people. And when you are clouded, then you will do more harm to other people. Then this is intentional engagement with what you are doing. That is Sila. Baby's thing is not Sila. It's the mere avoidance is not Sila. That means when you are practicing your panatipata, adinadana, kamasumichachara, musavada, suramera, you must know that I have to consciously avoid these things with the result, with the repercussions. Make sense? That kind of Sila is what you are expected to practice in Buddhism. Alright? Sila is not the mere avoidance of the precepts. This applies to everybody. Yeah? Alright? So, you need that Sila. Now, when it comes to your lay life, there are other levels of Sila. Other level. Let's say you are married. Now, you should have a Sila between your spouse. You are not stepping over the relationship. You are respecting. If you are working in a company, you have work ethics. You are not going to sabotage them. Right? That's why in some companies, they don't tell you when you are laid off. When you go to the desk, you see you are laid off. You have no access to the computer because they might think you are going to sabotage the information. Right? So there are work ethics. There are ethics on the road. Right? Otherwise you can drive the way you want. But there are ethics on everybody has to cooperate with those laws. Right? There are ethics in all these places. In Buddhism, ethics are not rules. Don't be misunderstood with this. There are no rules. When we call them training, we call them training supportives. Buddhism is not a teaching of rules. There are other religions, there are lots of, you can't do this, you can't. The Buddha says, kindly understand what will happen to you when you do this. So you may avoid that particular thing. Sikha means a training supportive. Although I put it that way. Then you should have your own Sila. That means intentionally you are avoiding or engaging in the good side of the precepts. Then what do you call Saddha, Sila. Then Chaga. Chaga means Chaga. Is this a new word to all of you? New word? Then I would write it. Chaga. It's better. Chaga. All right. Chaga. Chaga. Chaga means giving up. Then you have a Pali word called Dana. Dana means giving. The Buddha said Dana has to be a Chaga. The true meaning of Dana in Buddhism is giving up. Because all the religions talk about giving. All the religions. The highest explanation of any religion of giving dana is do not attach to strings. Do not make some strings attached to your dana. But the Buddha said you have to give up lobha, dosa, one-sided. Is it only offerings? Only? Or is dana is a very multifaceted concept? What do you think? Dana is a very wide virtue. Volunteering. Volunteering is dana. You are giving your time. Then, listening to others. Is it dana? Do you do that? There are people who might talk to you, I don't want your solutions. Please listen to me. Nobody listens to me in my life. There is nobody I can talk. You don't need to tell them answers. You just listen to them. They feel very happy. A lot of problems in your household happen because nobody wants to listen. Everybody wants to talk. Voice out. You are the problem. If you just become silent for a while, many problems will be sorted out in a moment of time. Maybe the troublemaker will understand his or her problems also. You call, this is a troublemaker. But troublemaker doesn't feel that I have to understand. But if you listen, he or she will, oh, I think I'm too bad to talk like that. You let that person recover from the problem. So, listening, offerings, sangha, lay people, whoever. Then, volunteering, listening. Other ways, sharing your Dhamma knowledge, maybe giving knowledge. Now, there is a Jataka story called Guttila Jataka story. Guttila, this is a Jataka story. Guttila is a famous musician. And then he taught all the music he knew to his student called Musila. Actually, Musila is Devadatta in that life, the rebellious monk. And finally, he used that knowledge to attack the teacher. So the moral of this Jataka story is never teach the wrong person. If you teach the wrong person will use it as an attack to you. In the same way, you should share the knowledge with the right person who can really grow, who can really become somebody who can learn. What are the other ways of being generous? May I ask you? Welcome other people is a part of Dhamma. How do we learn that? We can learn it from the Buddha. When somebody, if the Buddha is here like this, if somebody is coming from the entrance, the Buddha is the first one to smile. There's a Pali word for that. Maybe I'm going to put it here. The Pali word is Pubbahasi. Pubbahasi. Hasi means smiling. Pubba means before. Because when the Buddha is smiling, that person feels welcome. Then I can talk to you. Pubbahasi. Do we learn that from the Buddha? Has anybody known this before? The Buddha smiles before? Today you learn. Welcome other people. Such a very good feeling. It is a part of Dana Chan. Then, he is the first one to talk. Pubba Bhasi. Bhasi means speak, talk. When somebody comes to you, You are the one. The Buddha is the one. Hello, how are you? How's your day? What have you talked before? All that. Pubbahasi, Pubbahasi. These are part of generosity. Very interesting. Life related things, daily stuff. Now you can practice these things in your life. Now we talk about 4 things about this life. To spend your daily life with Dhamma. First one is Uttana Sampada. What this means? Be courageous in your Dhamma practice and for your secular work. Second, Arakka Sampada. That means create safety, physically, mentally, emotionally, all that. Third one, Kalyana Mittata, which means be surrounded by Kalyana Mittas. Find Kalyana Mittas. We talk about 2 Kalyana Mittas. One is the Buddha, second is the one you choose. The fourth one is Samajivi Kata. Samajivi Kata means balance out your income and expenses. Have a good management in your finances. Finances are mattering now. Some people might think Buddha is a financial. Buddha does not talk about money. He does talk about money for the lay people, because lay people are spending life with the money. Otherwise, Sangha also will not get any food. Right? Who is going to give food? Everybody becoming monks. Right? So, the Buddha says you have to balance out your expenses, income and expenses, and become good in your financial, your finances. Then this is for this life. In this life. Then the other 4 which I am talking now, they are for the next life. The first one is Saddha. I talk about 2 aspects. Unwavering trust about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and mutual trust between your relationships. Then Sila. Sila means virtue, and you may practice precepts for that. So you have to understand it is the intentional engagement with the activities, not mere avoidance. That will not make you a Sila person. Third one is Chaga. This one. Chaga. Chaga is a higher word. This is the higher version of your dana practice. You are aiming to practice Chaga through dana, not just dana. Now you might know even politicians give things to people, but they have so many ulterior motives. Isn't it? They are just doing dana. The people who are doing things like that, they are having dana. They are not going to Chaga, because they have strings attached. Even our people might have thoughts like that. Sometimes, by offering this dana, may I be a deva in my next life. Do you make that wish? Then you are doing dana. You don't go to Chaga. May I become a Brahma in next life. May I become so and so. Once you make a wish about the next life, you are having Bhava Tanha. One of the Tanha. Craving about becoming. That is Anya means wisdom. Wisdom has 3 parts. There is a sutta called Sangiti Sutta in the Digha Nikaya. Sangiti Sutta. Digha Nikaya. Who is giving this sutta? This sutta is given by Arahan Sariputta. Why? You know the famous teacher called Jain Mahavira. Yes, sister. Okay. Right? You know the teacher called Jain, the Mahavira? Who is that? It's a contemporary teacher of the Buddha. Nigantanatha Putta. He suddenly passed away. He passed away. Then his followers, they were attacking each other. How did they attack? I know the precious Dhamma from our teacher. You don't know what I know. The other person claimed, I also know something. So they are attacking each other. Then Arahant Sariputta thought, now this is a good example to us, to our Buddha Sasana. We have to do a council, Dhamma council, during the Buddha's time. Now the council that happened was after the Buddha's time. So he compiled Dhamma at that time. So there were one set, second set, third set, fourth set. Arhan Sariputta did a Dhamma council during the Buddha's time. Arhan Sariputta passed away before the Buddha. But before he passed away, he did a council by compiling Dhamma into certain categories. I picked the third category. He says this Panya has 3 types. Wisdom has 3 types. What are they? Okay, let's make some, probably here. Suttamaya Panya. Suttamaya Panya. This is the first type of Panya. Number 2, Chintamaya Panya. Number 3 is Bhavanamaya Panya. These are the 3 types of Panya. Now when you talk about wisdom, have you ever thought about these things? You might generally say, we have to be wise, like other traditions. The Buddha says, especially now he's talking, Arhan Sariputta is talking about the Buddha's version. Suttamaya means you may be wise through hearing Dhamma. Right? But is that enough? Is that alone enough? That's not enough. Otherwise you would have Sotapannas already. Yeah? How many Dhamma talks you listening to? Hearing alone is not enough. Because it has to go to my personal life. A lot of people, Dhamma knowledge is here. It does not go to the heart. So you have to use it to the heart. Bring it to the heart. You have to bring it to your personality. Then Chintamaya means you need to rationalize. So this is how we call Panya, wisdom you earn through hearing. Panya you acquire, you receive through rationalizing. You have to rationalize. That day Bhante talked about Sabbasava Sutta. But today I feel there's something different. Rationalize. You have to inquire. So you need this rationalization. That means you're going to rationalize whatever you hear, not just take it as it is. The Buddha says so in the Vimansaka Sutta. Majjhima Nikaya, he says you have to inquire my Tathagatahood, my Buddhahood. Can we do that? We will never be able to inquire Buddha's Tathagata, but he simply asks us to inquire. Do not accept even what I talk to you. If people don't inquire, they won't get the Chintamaya Panya. Then, what do you think? Are these 2 aspects of Panya enough for us to become better people in our life? No. Then you must bring this rationalized version of wisdom, which was enriched by the Suttamaya, onto the Bhavanamaya Panya. Bhavana means then you have to cultivate your thoughts with that wisdom which you have acquired, which you have brought up, carried forward to this level. Bhavana means we have to cultivate. Without cultivation, you won't be able to have any Buddhism. Cultivation is very important. All right. Any questions about these 8 things that you can practice in your lay life? Maybe I am going to give you both mics, so please use the both mics. Somebody can pass these mics to everybody. Yeah. You have a mic already, so take it closer to you.
Both. Okay. Bhante.
Yes.
Is these 3
Suttamaya,
Chintamaya, and
Bhavanamaya.
The same as the first one is Pariyati. Pariyati, Patipati, and Pativana. Are they equivalent to this?
You can relate.
Are they the same or not?
Not same, you can relate. You can relate. You can say, now Pativeda means your enlightenment, right? So you will become enlightened. Then Pariyatti means your Sutamaya probably. Yeah. Then Patipatti. Patipatti is everything. Huh? Because you cannot exactly relate, but the first two you can relate. Yeah. They are kind of similarities. Yeah. But mainly these are the things how the Buddha exactly said.
Can you elaborate on the number 3?
Take the small mic too.
Bhavana.
Huh?
Bhavana.
Bhavana me panya. How can we get this one? Now you have now you have a certain hearing from many monks, books, whatever your sources, and then you're going to rationalize them. Is it true?
Okay.
How is it going to work?
All right.
You make your own inquiry. When you do that, you are coming up with a certain good understanding about the Dhamma. But now the problem is you are left out with the practice. Now you are going to practice 7 Bojjhangas. Sati, Dhammavichaya, Viriya, Piti, Passaddhi, Samadhi, Upekka. When you practice these 7, you are going to withdraw from the 5 hindrances. Kamacchanda, Vyapada, Thina, Middha, Undhatu, Vijja. Because when you practice these 7, you practice the Noble Eightfold Path, you practice Satipatthanas, all are inside the 7 Bojjhangas.
So for the lay people, do you think it's conducive for us to practice that 7 Bojjhanga?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, keep in mind, now you are lay people.
Yes.
You have to practice these 4 first. Maybe you have to simultaneously practice these 4. Be courageous, create safety, be surrounded by Kalyana Mittas, balance out your finances. Right? Monks don't do these things, so you have to do those. You practice Saddha in your own lay version, you practice Sila in your own version, you practice Chaga in your own version, you practice Panya in your own version. Right. So, now you are asking this Panya factor, and because I said Panya has 3 parts. Yes, you practice Sutamaya Panya in your own way, lay version, Chintamaya in your own way, Bhavanamaya in your own way. Monks practice in their own way. They practice in their own way. So it's not working. Right? Yes. Does it make sense? Right. Okay, good. But you all are going to the same goal, like monastics do. But what I'm saying is you don't need to follow what monastics do to go there. You follow what you can do to go there. Lay version. Monastics are going in their own way. Then you should be a monastic. Don't complicate yourself. Because you are spending a lay life. If you are a lay person, you must practice, because the Buddha said, you must practice these 8 this way, but you will make time. Right? You will make time. But do not try to mix it up. Because there are complications. Because let's say you have your own family life and things you have to still work. Right? And all that. This is what the Buddha recommended for the lay people. Do not practice monastic things without being a monastic. That jeopardizes your practice. That jeopardizes people around you yourself. And plus, it's a disrespect. Teachings might be very $1 million teachings, but you have to practice according to who you are. Layperson, monastic.
Okay, just for one example. I'm the old man now.
You're an old man.
Yeah, I'm old man.
I don't think so. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
be serious in my practice,
Yes.
what is your recommendation? Is it to be monastic better, or I keep maintain myself as the day people to practice the Dhamma?
None of this is my own views.
Yeah.
I don't talk about
I'm
my
asking
own
for your
views.
view.
According to the Buddha, if you are still a lay person, better to go this way. Vyaggapadja Sutta, read this sutta. Vyaggapadja. This sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya. You can search it, you can find the number. But if you are a monast, some of it. But if you think you need more space, if you want to be more serious in your own way,
So
you can make a choice.
I can reach the destination faster.
No. That's a very good question. Just because you are a monastic, you might they are supposedly go faster than you. But it is not happening that way. Sometimes lay people are making way better than the monks.
Yeah, that is possible.
I will tell you one example.
Yeah.
Now, we all want to become Sotapannas, right?
Yes.
Vishaka, this lady, became a Sotapanna at the age of 7.
Okay.
And then she fell in love with somebody, married, got children, got 500 grandchildren. Never became a monastic.
Okay.
She was reborn in the Nimmana Rati, heaven. But definitely she must have finished her journey already, because Sotapannas will never be reborn more than
7 times. 7 times.
So now the thing, there are many other people, Santati. The minister called Santati. So there is when you look at it from the face value, you might think becoming a monk is the easiest way, fastest way. Probably, but it might not work to everybody. It might not. Because when you are a monastic, you have certain other responsibility as a monastic. Now you are only concerned about how to attain Nibbana.
Yes.
Not the monastic responsibility.
Oh, no.
Yes.
But it become
then
along.
You have to expect your monastic responsibility.
One day it become along with that responsibility.
No, what's that?
It become along that if a person have been what you call.
It become a doctor.
No, become a monastic.
Okay.
So I think he is prepared to bear that responsibility of a monastic, other than the practice.
No, every monastic has responsibilities nowadays.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are more stressed out than others now, because a lot of devotees come and see them asking advices. They have to travel, so I don't think most of them have the same freedom as we see in the text. At that time, they only have the alms bowl. They just travel.
Yeah.
They just went on food. So what I'm telling is that you are only looking at your Nibbana, and you only want to pick up monkhood just to attain Nibbana.
Yeah.
So then you cannot bypass the monastic, because every temple has their own operation, own way of surviving, own way of functioning.
Yeah.
So you have to be a part of it. Sometimes this might not work for you. Might work. Right? Otherwise you should consider something. Okay, you're going to go to a temple. You have to tell the temple, I'm not in the temple. I take my bowl, I go to a forest. Don't expect me coming back here. But that is more dangerous than practicing with animals.
Okay.
All right. So I think my advice to you is that make sure whether you have these 8. All of you. If you don't have these 8, you have to practice these 8. You will be almost near whatever your goal. Other than that, without practicing them, do not think I want to do a straight entry to whatever those enlightenments. Right? Now, a lot of people, they make some rapid courses, crash courses. 1 month Sotapanna course, crash course, and finally everybody crash into each other. You cannot gain anything, because this is a practice. This like a long time practice, right? Long time practice. It takes time. Now think about Devadatta. He was living in the same monastery. Did he reach any state of mind? No. You need your sansaric, previous good karmas also, right? So don't just pick up becoming a monk or nun just because you feel good, huh? You have some good vibes. No, it's something more than that. So decide what will suit for you and then go for it. Yes. Any other questions?
Any other person going to Nibbana?
Yes.
Sotapan, any questions, brothers and sisters? This is a rare opportunity to be able to ask questions. We just have a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Yes. We are recording this, so you have to speak to the mic.
Bhante, is our daily life is as we get simpler and leading uncluttered life without more hindrances in our life. Is it a better option to spend more time with the Dhamma practice?
Now this gentleman told that his children are already gone to their own life. He is more independent. Maybe he can get easy approval from his wife from whatever he wants to do, especially. But now you said you may have an uncluttered life. You may have less responsibilities now, right? So I think that will be a good time for you to think about to deepen your Dhamma practice, right? I think I advise to these people normally, like in your situation, you can practice more Dhamma. If you, in order to practice Dhamma, you don't need to change your dress. It is a mind thing. Just because you change your dress, nothing will come to you. But why people want to become monks and nuns? They might think there is more freedom. But we don't know. We never know whether it might work or not. So, best thing is understand your current life and make more time for your cultivation in being in your household. And then practice Uttana Sampada, Arakka Sampada, Kalyana Mitta Samajeevi Kata, Saddha Sila Chaga Panya in your own way. And then become more aware, practice more, cultivate these things. Finally, the 7 Bojjhangas, and then you will make your way. How many lay people become enlightened by being a lay person? Arahants. Do you know? Those say, then you will know it is not very much necessary to become a monastic. Huh? I think cannot. All right. How many of you know the Bahya Daruchiriya? This person. Bahya Daruchiriya. Okay. This is a lay person who went on a ship journey. Halfway of the journey, the ship was wrecked. So he had to, everybody died. He managed to come to the shore. Then he thought he has nothing. Then he found out some woods. So he made a dress out of those wood. And then now trying to show people, I am an Arahant. I think people do nowadays too. Huh? There are people who have their self-understanding becoming. When I was in Ottawa, there was a white lady called me in the temple. The other monk picked up the phone. He does not speak English, so he gave the phone to me. She says she became the Buddha last night. And she wants to test that with the monastery. Can I come to the monastery? I said, don't come. It takes time to become a Buddha. Because whenever they do their own meditation, there are some fallacies coming up, wrong indications. We call them abhasas. These are called abhasas. Abhasas of meditation. What are they? People start to see some stones, some clouds, some lights. These are not enlightenment type. These are some fallacies of your meditation. Once your mind gets immersed, concentrated, these will come up. But you might wrongly think, I am at now Sotapanna level, that thing, right? So you have to be very careful about these things, right? It takes time. So you have to know a teacher. So there are things like that. So we have to understand about, things. So you don't have to become a monastic. Now, in the case of Bahya Daruchariya, he showed that he is an Arahant. Then one mother in one of his previous life appeared in front of him, said, Bahya Daruchariya, I am one of your mothers in past life. Do not fake as an arahant. The Buddha is living in somewhere, Jetavanaram, you go and see him. Then he went to see the Buddha. Then the Buddha was on his arms round, Pindapati. Then Bahya Daruchariya came nearer him and then said, Bhante, can you teach me some Dhamma? The Buddha did not, because he said this is Pindapata time, not time for Dhamma talks. Then he asked second time. Then he also asked third time. Then the Buddha went into thoughts. Why is this man asking so much request? Then he knew he is going to die very soon, within an hour. He is going to attack by a cow. Then the Buddha said 4 things to him. Ditte dittamattang, sute sutamattang, mute mutamattang, vinyate vinyatamattang. Bahya Daruchariya, when you see things, only think, I see them. Don't get caught up with the things. When you hear things, only hear. Do not caught up with the hearing. When you, when you understand certain thing, only think that you understand. When you think, only think that these are thoughts. Do not work according to the thoughts a lot. Right? Once he heard this Dhamma teaching, he became an arahant as a layperson. He became an arahant without no dress. But there were many monks like Venerable Ananda, Bhante Ananda, his minister monk, always with him. He never attained any arahanthood. Why is it? It is a different thing. It's not a thing of the dress. So, he became an arahant. In a moment of time, he was attacked by a cow, he passed away. Then the Buddha said to people, monks, this is not a lay person. Now he became an arahant. You have to make a stupa. Make a stupa and cremate his body. This means you don't have to. Right? You don't have to. I don't think just because you are serious, the only option is to become a monk. I don't think that is the only option. If you are serious, you can make your lay life a bit serious according to your thoughts. Bit serious, you can cultivate more. Make more time for the Dhamma practice. Now, when people think I'm serious about my Dhamma practice, I must walk out from my home. That is not the only option. If you really like it, go for it. But I don't think it is necessary. There are so many other ways of being serious within your lay life. Cultivate more, make more time, engage more. There are so many ways. All right, we are almost at the time. Maybe we can get one more question if you have.
One last question, last opportunity. Any questions? I don't think any questions on this. So if there are
Yes.
no questions,
We can wrap this up. Yeah. All right. I think today you have been learning this topic called how to practice Dhamma in daily life. Now, how did you understand that? You have to practice 8 things, 4 things for this life, 4 things for next life. And you understood what is your daily life, and you don't necessarily have to walk out from your daily life, and you don't need to walk out from your house to practice Dhamma. Then your Dhamma is only a forest practice. Your Dhamma practice is only a temple practice. You should be able to practice Dhamma in your house, in your lay life. For most people, Dhamma practice in lay life is just offering things in front of an altar. Right? That is what they do. For the rest, they think, no, this is not the good place. It is your attitude. You can bring all these aspects into your lay life because it's a mental thing, psychological thing. Everything in Buddhism is psychological, mind-made. Mano upubbangama dhamma. All right, I think you got a sense of what we've been trying to tell. So practice Dhamma in your daily life. When you go to other places also you can practice, but more importantly, practice your Dhamma in your house, because house is your comfort zone. If you bring Dhamma into your comfort zone, you will like it, you will not take it as a challenge. So may all the good karmas you've been acquiring today, getting today, accumulating today, be transferred to all the departed ones, those who passed away, in the name of all of you. May departed beings be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukita huntu ñātayu. Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukita huntu ñātayu. Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukita huntu ñātayu. Also, may all the good karmas be shared by all the devas, nagas and mahidvikas. May devas, nagas and mahidvikas be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of you. This center, Nalanda Center in SP, at the same time, all the officials over here. May all and everybody who took part in today morning Dhamma talk, others might listen later through the recording. May all your life, may all you be protected and blessed by the Deva, Naga, Mahidika for good health, quality of life and prosperity, safety. May the new year, which is coming up in a couple of days, be the year that you are making your goals, Dhamma goals. Maybe 2024 will be the year that you are really incorporating your Dhamma into daily life. So, finally, may Deva, Naga, Mahidika also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata ca ammehi samvatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhang tuloka sasanang chirang rakhang tudesanang chirang rakhang tumang paranti chirang rakhang tutvan sadati. As I emphasized in the Dhamma sharing, having Kalyana Mittas is one of the most important requirements in our spiritual life. Self-inspiration, self-motivation alone is not enough. So, may we be in the company of Kalyana Mittas until we attain Nibbana. And not with the Papa Mittas, bad friends who might draw us out, pull us out from the Dhamma. Thinking thus, we're going to make a wish. Imina punya kammine mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Finally, may all the good karmas which we've been accumulating today. I came here yesterday, the officials here, they offered me dana in a restaurant, and afternoon we went to Bujang Valley heritage sites, and I was able to see all these sites. Never seen these things here. Very happy for showing me around. And today morning you offered dana as well, and now you listen to the Dhamma talk. In a while you will be offering dana to me on behalf of the Sangha. May all these good karmas be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa niccang vaddha pachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now you can respect the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and we will